It is a Friday afternoon, and it is an all-blue preview. Milam and Dave Baker. Big week of UK sports again. The football season winding down, basketball season ramping up. We've got UK U of L women tomorrow, UK football tomorrow. The basketball Cats coming off an enormous win over the Duke Blue Devils. And I don't think anybody saw that coming with the way the game was progressing. Duke was having their way, and then here come the Cats, and oh my God.
Didn't somebody on this very program last week talk about the fact that it could be like just a bunch of guys down at the wire or something, and they come in and they think they're going to roll over top of them? And I don't understand it. John Shire's kind of fallen into the John Calipari deal, right? He's gone out and he's hit the portal, and then he's got this top recruiting class. And Cooper Flagg's a great player, going to be even better. 17 years old. I think it was Jay.
That kid is the real deal.
But I think I heard Billis say it sometime this week that, let me see if I get this right, that Duke's oldest player was younger than Kentucky's youngest player. And I mean the gap between experience and you look at the last two possessions. I mean, Flagg gets D'd up and he turns the ball over, and Kentucky shuts him down defensively. And I mean, it was just, I was thinking just earlier, because of the magnitude of that game, how far would you have to go back to find a game like that Kentucky won that has ostensibly put them on a trajectory that they weren't expected to win? I did some quick thinking. Maybe that NCAA tournament against, who was it? Was it Wichita State or the Greg Marshall team?
Well,
Greg Wright team.
Wichita State was undefeated. Second round. Kentucky was an 8 seed.
And they were a 1 or a 2. They were the one. They were the one. Round. That's the one I could think of. I mean, somebody else may have others, but I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah. It was an amazing atmosphere to be in there. It was a heavyweight fight, and all I kept thinking about, and I'm going to be on Dick Gabriel's show later tonight, and I already know what I'm going to say, because it felt like watching Rocky II, the movie. Now it's Creed, now it's Balboa, now it's Creed. I mean, they're throwing haymakers. It's Duke, it's Kentucky, it's Duke. Here comes UK again. Mm-hmm. But I loved how UK, and I believe this is right, the last 13 minutes and 53 seconds of the game, I believe, UK had 2 3-pointers.
Right.
They went to the body. They attacked the rim. They passed the ball.
D'd people up.
Yeah, and just locked down certain players for Duke. And Malawach, the big 7'2" Sudanese center, he looked tired.
Cramped up.
The James kid, number 14, with that great Greek god body, he hurts his shoulder and he has to leave. And I thought UK wore down Duke. And it was not the same, but it was somewhat reminiscent of 1998 when Kentucky's only down 9. But the way Duke was scoring, I thought, man, they're on the brink. They could go either way here. And then UK just goes to the body. Boom, 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 boom. And Duke had no answer, really.
No, they didn't.
Because everybody talked about UK, all they do is shoot threes. What do they have on the inside? Well, they showed that a little bit.
Well, and the other thing, too, and I'm going to keep banging on this drum. I was banging on it last year and the year before.
Bang the drum slowly, though.
Thank you. The fact that, you might be able to win an NBA championship with a great player or two. I'm just convinced that you have got to have that team deal to win in college basketball anymore. You look at who's won the last 5 to 10 NCAA basketball championships. And I mean, I don't know where they were in their recruiting classes and everything, right? I mean, the teams that advance may not be the winner all the time, but my favorite guy, I'm going to go back to the Uber driver. It's the guy makes a bajillion shots and knocks Kentucky out last year, the guy at Oakland. And this Kentucky team is like they have got a whole team of Uber drivers. I mean, seriously, a lot of people will say that supposedly know that Robinson is maybe the only pro on this team. Mm-hmm. And he didn't have a basket.
No.
And they won this game the other night.
One free throw.
And that kid kept playing his tail off and everything. I'd like you to to speak to the viewing public out there, kind of like what you were telling me about the things that impressed you. For those of you who didn't see, Brian was shooting right at the end of the bench. I mean, it was like he was the last man on the bench. You were so close. But you told me some things the other day that really caught your eye.
3 things. The first of is Mark Pope, his demeanor during the game. He never got upset, never got worried, never did anything. He kept encouraging his ball club. Hey, this is what's going to happen. Wait for this to happen. We can do this. It was not to compare and contrast, but I think it's impossible not to. What are you doing? Let's go. Okay, but I'm going to teach you what you did wrong.
How many times have you heard Pope's voice through the television?
Yeah,
you don't?
Zip.
You
also, and not that this is a situation where we all fall short. Mark Pope did not say one cuss word. And other coaches, and I don't care, pick your coach. I cannot think of a handful that Tony Bennett maybe one that I've never heard drop anything.
Yeah, I get it.
Anything. And that impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that impressed me the most was where I was. Travis Perry was to my immediate left. You had Colin Chandler, he was to his left. Ansley Almanor was there. Then Amari would come in. And Kirk Creesa was here. And all they talked about throughout the entire game, it wasn't, oh man, that was a bad call. That was this. Man, what are they doing? Hey, watch this. Watch for the curl coming here. They were coaching each other the whole game.
And Pope was asking them what they were seeing.
Well, one of the kids said to Coach McLean, like, hey, Coach, that's the same play they did at like the 7-minute mark, only they flipped it. You know, you can have 10 plays, and if you flip it, you've got 20. Mm-hmm. It looks different. And he goes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, hey, they're doing this, they're doing that. Everybody was engaged on the bench. They were watching, they were talking, they were coaching each other, they were looking for tendencies, they were looking for trends, they were looking for differences. And I thought, being a former athlete, where in the dugout, that's what you talk about. Hey, what'd you see from that pitcher? Watch the defense. That guy's giving away what pitch. Are you going to see that third baseman cheat in, or is the middle infield squeezed together? Things that you talk about all the time. They were doing that the whole game. I got an education with my left ear listening to them, my right eye in the viewfinder looking for the action, and I thought, okay, he's going to look for this curl. So I went, next time they come down, I put the camera on one guy. Sure enough, who gets the basketball? Mm-hmm. Wow, look at that. By listening to them.
Sure.
It was an incredibly professional, mature situation. And I don't get that at Rupp Arena because we are on the visitor side. Mm-hmm. So we're not on the home side. And I heard a lot from Wright State and Bucknell that cannot be repeated on camera.
Sure.
Did not hear that from Kentucky. Not saying it didn't happen.
I know what you're saying.
But they were so mature and professional. And I thought, wow, this program has come a long way in 6-7 months.
So like I said, you can say whatever you want. You can put your all-star team together. And then you walk in and there's a bunch of dudes there who are all
that don't look like it.
Who are all taped up, maybe a little overweight. And they say, this is my wife.
This is my wife. You don't ask why in my wife.
No.
But it was just so much fun. And I could relive that because we have the video and you could hear some of the chatter. Hey, watch the back cut, watch the back. And it's the player, it's not a coach because they're coaching and looking at their things. And when they come in and sit down, and Kirk Creesa said to one of the guys, that's on me. That will not happen again. That was my fault. Won't happen again. I understand what I did wrong. And they're coaching each other. And Mark Pope said in the postgame, I got there after doing maybe he did a halftime interview, I don't know, with ESPN. And he gets in there, and he said, they've already corrected the situation themselves.
Yes.
They had already talked about it. And he goes, and I walk in there and go, all right, let's go.
No, seriously. I mean, Cal used to.
You want to talk about a player-led team?
Yes, Cal used to talk about that all the time. That's exactly what I was going to say. He said those are the best teams.
Yeah.
And they proved it. I mean, and listen, it's a small sample size.
Yeah.
But if they can do that in this point in time, and listen, there's no questioning Duke's talent. But as we've seen before, a lot of times you can't win with just talent.
No.
You got to be able to get it in the right spot, do the right thing.
And for me to get excited about college basketball this early in the year, I'm kind of linear. I want football to be over before I really fully dive into basketball.
Did you always eat like one of your vegetables
No,
fully
I wasn't
before
that guy.
you?
No, I mixed
before
them all together. But I am that person where I cannot, especially if UK football, we've got high school football, we've got small colleges still trying to make their way into the postseason, whatever. That has to be on the back burner for me to fully be engaged in college basketball.
You know, Kaywood.
This team has got me engaged.
Kaywood was like that. You know, back all the years he did the games, and Tom has done the same thing now. If there was a conflict between a football and a basketball game, he always said, you finish what you started first.
Yeah.
And so he would do the football game and have somebody else do the basketball game. So that's that same sort of mindset.
And the last team for UK that I was personally all in on this early in the year was the 2019 team, which lost to Auburn in the region final. Because I said preseason, I said, get your tickets ready for the Final Four in Minneapolis. I feel that coming, and they got to the region final, lost in overtime. I'm not saying this team is going to the Final Four. They have me excited from a professional standpoint. I can't wait to go to Rupp Arena, where over the last 6 years, last year I went to 3 men's games at Rupp, 0-3. They lost to Gonzaga and Florida and whoever else.
Right. Listen, there's obviously a lot to be played and everything, but I just don't see a scenario where they're going to throw in a clunker.
Nope.
There may be nights when they get beat, but they're not going to be out there looking like they don't know what they're doing and getting beat by the high ball screen 10 possessions in a row. And I think they're going to give themselves a chance every game. I think the bigger part of this, and nobody's chucking this season, but the bigger part of this is it's kind of like Cal came and then he got Mashburn.
Patino, you mean?
Patino, I'm sorry, Patino. As you look at this, who would not want to come and play in an offense and a defense like this and have a coach treat them the way that Mark Pope treats these guys? I mean, I just think if this continues, not only is it going to lead to big things for this season, but it's going to get him in some doors that those who coach against him hoped he would have a bad year, and because of that, he wouldn't be able to get into those doors.
Well, what was it Rick Barnes said last year at Tennessee? They did not have a certain out-of-bounds play in their playbook. They watched Gonzaga score 4 times on basically the same play.
And they put it in for that game.
They put it in for that game and burned UK again for 3 baskets.
Again and again and again.
And when we spoke to the kids, the UK players, see, I'm getting old, man. I'm calling everybody.
It's all right.
Hey, kid. Hey, kid.
Hey, kiddo.
Hey, what do you know about Duke? Well, we watched video on this. We know that Flag is this. We know Apple is this. We know Malawatch is going to do this. We know this guy, this guy, this guy. You go back in years past. What do you know about them? We haven't even seen any video. It's the day before the game. You just don't roll out the basketball and play. You don't roll out the football and just play.
And listen.
You study film. You study your opponent. You watch yourself. What am I doing wrong?
There's the old different strokes for different folks.
It's a new world, man.
Right? But I mean, and people have succeeded. And Cal succeeded for a long time. But I mean, to hear Pope during the news conference the other day, you ask him a question about a team and what they, he about gives you a scouting report.
Sure.
He's not going to give away what they do, but he will break it down very technically.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to confuse anybody, but it's like, they'll do this, they'll do these cuts, they'll do that cuts. They're very effective at this. And the one thing we've got to, the one thing they do is when they do their final shoot around is Mark Fox will go around to all the players and he will ask them, each one.
It's a quiz.
Tell me 3 things about the guy you're going to be guarding.
Yeah, it's a quiz.
They're not learning about it then. They're supposed to know it. And what are you going to do?
Yeah, they know everything but their social security number and their first address that they grew up in on what street. They know everything else about them, and it's just like I said, it's a joy.
Dear friend,
to be around a team like that.
Dear friend of mine, Dave Levangie. He lived at 3 Pine Street, and he used to have the worst time because no teacher believed that the address was just 3 Pine Street. And so we'd always be filling out these forms in first and second and third grade. And he would, Dave, what's the rest of your address? That's it. 3 Pine Street. No, it can't be it. And it was him all the time.
One of my favorite people from Eastern Kentucky, Dexter Campbell, longtime high school basketball referee. He called it tight, but he was consistent. You didn't put your hand on the guy. Nope, that's a foul. You know the rules here. One of the greatest addresses of all time over in Letcher County, 99 Fat Baby Lane. I just thought that is not his address. 99 Fat Baby Lane. I cannot make
Was
up
he the guy that built the road?
I don't
and
know.
then got to name it?
I don't know, but it was. I love Dexter. Just a
Was Dexter a big guy?
No, he was just.
Oh.
He looked as if the common man that just stepped out of the gas station, stepped out of the library. He just looked normal. He stepped out of the school. He stepped out of, the restaurant. And I love Dexter. But 99 Fat Baby Lane.
It's like Governor Justice over there in West Virginia that has that dog. What is it? Is it a bulldog or something that he calls baby dog? And this dog is this dog was built for pleasure, not speed.
Real quick, we're going to get to UK football because the math is simple. 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, and that means 3 wins. Now,
and you can't get 3 unless you get the first one.
You can't get 4 unless you get 3, and you can't get 3 unless you get the first one. That's right. And the football Wildcats, a monstrous favorite over Murray State. But as I was telling someone also, remember a couple of years ago, Steven Johnson was the quarterback, and he was banged up a little bit, wanted to rest him and give him some breathers. Hey, you're going to sit out this game. Austin Peay jumps out. I think it was supposed to be 13-0.
Right.
And it's like, all right, all the starters get back in there. We can't rest you this week.
Right.
And so if a Cutter Boley is to get a lot of playing time, if other guys, I want to see UK get a lead first. 21-0, 17-0, 14-0 even. Now get in there and see what we can do.
Here's the thing about that. I mean, you want to get him some reps and everything,
Sure.
right? But, I mean, because of the way things have gone, is it more important to get additional game reps for those other guys to try to work out, whatever has been ailing them at certain times?
Yeah.
I mean, to just get them more game reps in terms of throwing the ball, in terms of reading defenses. It's different when you're talking about running backs, and certainly the way things have gone.
Yeah.
You don't want to get anybody else dinged up or worse, but.
Yeah, but it's going to be an early afternoon kick tomorrow. UK and
1:30, right?
1:30.
1:30.
So get there early if you need to tailgate, and if you come over to the Thornsbury tailgate, right there at the corner of the.
Will you be there?
Oh heck yeah! I've been there 7 years in a row. I'm not missing that.
Okay.
Thing. They're going to have a great breakfast. Just saying. Just wait until I get there because I don't want to show up and everything be gone like it was a couple of weeks ago. So anyway.
So are you on these airwaves?
Yes.
Talking about somebody
Yes.
who has befriended you and welcomed you into their tailgate.
Yes.
And you're criticizing them for
No, I'm not criticizing them.
Tailgate management.
No, I'm not criticizing them. I'm criticizing because I said on this show and other shows, hey, greatest people in the world, go meet them. And then I showed up and all the food was gone because all these extra people showed up.
I know some people. I'm not going to say.
Melanie, get that husband of yours. Make sure you get a little extra.
I'm not going to say where, but there's a friend of mine who, because of this friend's circle of friends,
Yeah.
goes to a lot of different things, a lot of different get-togethers and things like that. And I believe there's a wanted poster up for this friend because the last one they went to, they were told that they were limited to 2 proteins.
Okay.
And so this friend got the 2 proteins and then tried to surreptitiously come back through the line.
That's a big word.
And was caught.
I don't know.
Trying to exceed the 2 protein limit.
UK Murray tomorrow, UK women in Louisville. So as soon as you leave the Murray State football game, get over to Memorial Coliseum, or as it is now known as Historic
Memorial Coliseum.
And UK Louisville.
Hey, Kenny Brooks has got him playing well.
Yeah.
And he knows exactly what Jeff Walls is
Sure.
going to do from his time up at Virginia Tech in the ACC.
So it'll be a good little rivalry, renewed in a different way. So get over there to Memorial Coliseum, watch the ladies.
What was it he said a few years ago? We don't dance. We just go to Final Fours.
Yeah, tell me.
And he's a good dude too,
Yeah. Tell me that didn't stoke the fire.
Right.
Oh.
But you got to do something before you stoke the fire, right? You got to put it out or something.
It's true, but if it's true, what are you going to say about it? All right, we're going to get out of here, get back to work, and do some stuff, and let you enjoy your rest of your day and your weekend. And we're going to do high school game time tonight, and we'll see you at the ball games this weekend and things in between. And we'll do this again next Friday. See you.